First tonight, the Prime Minister painting a picture of hope and opportunity as he officially wraps up the 2025-2026 budget debate in the House of Assembly. Plus, the public will soon have an opportunity to weigh in on the now completed draft of a new penal code, the announcement made by the country's Attorney General. And then a successful kidney transplant surgery marking a new era in the Bahamas' healthcare system. We'll tell you what medical professionals say this means for the country. And then in our news at 7:30, the Public Service and Labor Minister announcing salary increases for over 2,000 mid-level public servants. The details for these stories and more as Our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. After nearly 3 weeks of intense exchanges in the House of Assembly, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Philip Davis officially closed debate on the 2025-2026 budget. And he did so by touting the work of his cabinet while reaffirming his administration's commitment to creating a future of equal opportunities for all Bahamians. Davis insisting this budget is designed to invest in Bahamians at every stage of life.
Today, unemployment is the lowest it's been since 2008. Our public finances are stronger. Investment is flowing back into our islands. This budget is about building an economy that works for everyone, from Grand Bahama to Inagua, and all the islands in between. From the graduate in the family islands to the grandmother in Nassau, raising her grandkids while taking care of a sick parent. It's about rewriting the rules so that hope and hard work can take you where you want to go.
Davis went on to say that the budget is aimed at ensuring no Bahamian is left behind due to age, location, or circumstance.
It's a student in Inagua or Meguana who, through new broadband access, gets to attend the same courses and earn the same credentials as someone in Nassau. Though where you are doesn't decide the potential anymore. Expanding opportunity means telling every Bahamian, you're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too far, and it is not too late.
Attorney General Ryan Pinder says the draft of a new penal code has been completed and will soon be made public for consultation. Pinder made the announcement while speaking at the Conference of Caribbean Chief Justices and Heads of Government at Bahamas last night. While he did not reveal much about the draft, he did say it would go hand in hand with changes to sentencing guidelines that are also being drafted.
We have drafted a new penal code that is going to be soon out for public consultation. That is intended to reflect best practices and ensure that it is fit for purpose. Our penal code goes back, I think, to the 1920s here in the country.
Meantime, police are probing the death of a child on Wednesday. The Criminal Investigation Department has launched an investigation after officers received a distress call from the South Beach Clinic saying a father brought his unresponsive child in for treatment. Officers went to the clinic and learned the child was brought in for medical attention and was treated on Tuesday at the South Beach Clinic. That day, the child was referred to Princess Margaret Hospital, where he received treatment and was discharged. But on Wednesday, the child's condition worsened, and his father immediately took him to the clinic, where he was pronounced dead by a doctor. History made inside the walls of the Princess Margaret Hospital on Tuesday as doctors successfully performed a rare and life-changing kidney transplant between a father and his son. The procedure, hailed to be the first of its kind in the hospital in decades, was done using a fully laparoscopic method on the donor, a minimally invasive technique that marks a huge leap for local surgical capability. With specialized support from transplant teams in Trinidad and Barbados, health officials confirmed that both the donor and recipient are stable and currently recovering in the intensive care unit. Doctors say the 5-hour operation was a resounding success and a testament to the skill, coordination, and evolution of the medical team at PMH.
The procedures went well. Both donor and recipient are back in the ICU, and everybody's happy at this time.
We look forward to continuing to manage them in the post-operative period, and we are very excited and delighted and so thankful for the team that came together today, both from an administrative and clinical standpoint to allow us to be in this moment today.
The procedure was a collaborative effort between local medical professionals and regional transplant experts. It marks a new era in the Bahamas' healthcare system as the nation moves toward establishing a fully functional local transplant program. On hand for the historic moment was Barbados-based transplant leader Dr. Margaret O'Shea. She says the team's performance laid the foundation for a robust local transplant program.
From what I've seen today, I think you have the local Bahamian population can have full confidence in the local transplant team, and I hope that this will be the beginning of many transplants in this country.
I think today just demonstrates, one, that talent exists in the country, and I just need the Bahamian people not to lose trust in our ability, but to mark today as one where you can trust the expertise of the same people in your community to be able to take care of your health needs.
While Belinda Wilson is calling her re-election as president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers an honor, the veteran unionist was officially declared the winner of last week's election, securing her 7th consecutive term at the helm. In a court-registered document obtained by Our News this week, Wilson earned 1,292 points. Speaking with Our News today, Wilson said she's grateful.
I could not imagine that I would be elected over and over and over. But it shows that hard work pays off. But I say, surely, whom God calls, he equips. I say thank you to our members from Grand Bahama to Inagua.
As for what she plans to accomplish this term,
we want to have a successful negotiations for a new industrial agreement for the period 2025 to 2028, the completion of our multi-purpose complex on Bethel Avenue. We want to expand our pension plan for our members, and we want to continue to work on confirmation, promotions, reclassifications, back pay for our members, because that will improve their living standard. And we definitely would like to build some affordable homes.
Well, we've still got lots more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures with meteorologist Greg Thompson. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and happy Thursday evening, everybody. We have another warm evening setting up for us on the outdoors. 85 degrees our current temperature with a wind flow out of the east at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 89. Temperatures right now around the chain of islands across the northwest Bahamas. All 85s there with the exception of Alistown, Bimini, Marsh Harbour, Abaco, and Governor's Harbour. Nichols and Andros 85. 85 in Kemps Bay, pick up more 84s. Black Point, Exumas, Georgetown, Deadman's Key, and in Port Nelson, Rum Key. Arthurstown, Cat Island 83, 82 in Cuban Town, San Salvador, and then 83 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Abrahams Bay. 84s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Matthewtown, Inagua 86, and our good neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands. We have a temperature right now of 84 degrees. Satellite radar composite, it is extremely quiet across our area. We do have that ridge of high pressure still in charge. Just some patchy clouds moving across the chain of islands in that east to southeasterly wind flow. Maybe even 1 or 2 small showers, but it is going to remain dry tonight through tomorrow as that ridge stays well entrenched across our area. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, Jazz Chisholm breaks the Yankees scoreless inning streak, but somehow not enough to break this losing streak. We'll tell you all about it.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
Get ready for the new Charlie Banana Show. That's right, banana, B-A-N, Nana. You know how to spell banana. You know, right here on Cable Bahamas channel 212 every Friday night.
It's the Charlie Bahamas Show. It's the season rewind of the Charlie Bahamas Show right here on Cable Bahamas channel 212. Ain't no bananas in this, except he did try to get on the show. Hey, where'd you get this outfit from? Your closet.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on my services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages and
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. Jazz Chisholm continues to produce at the plate for the New York Yankees, and last night he delivered again. Somehow, it hasn't translated to wins. Chisholm broke the Yankees' 30-inning scoreless drought with a solo home run in the second inning, launching a 407-foot blast to center field. It was Jazz's 10th home run of the season and the only run for the Yankees in a 3-2 loss to the Angels. Since returning from a right oblique injury on June 3rd, Chisholm has looked more locked in than ever. In that time frame, he's posted a .998 OPS with 3 home runs, 8 RBI, and 4 stolen bases.
This summer, the Bahamas once again played host to another edition of the Basketball Smiles Camp. Since 1999, Sam Nichols and his organization have worked alongside local coaching icon Patty Johnson to bring together youth athletes eager to develop their skills and the love for the game. Organizers focused on creating a positive and encouraging environment for players of all levels, fostering not only basketball fundamentals, but also life skills like leadership and perseverance.
It's been a tough series of outings so far for Team Bahamas at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup America's Regional Final. Hosted at the Maple Leaf Cricket Club in King City, Ontario, Team Bahamas fell by 10 wickets with 39 balls remaining to the host country and suffered its 3rd straight loss. The Bahamas posted a total of 52 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 11 overs. Canada reached a target of 53 runs in 4.3 overs. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world, as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu continues to highlight the suffering and painful losses endured by his citizens. Plus, extreme hunger is intensifying in 13 global hotspots, with some countries on the verge of famine. And then in tonight's edition of Sustainability First, find out how overfishing is impacting large fish in the country and region. We have the details when our news returns.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
Get ready for the new Charlie Banana Show. That's right, banana, B-A-N, Nana. You know how to spell banana. You know, right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212 every Friday night.
It's the Charlie Bahamas Show. It's the season rewind of the Charlie Bahamas Show right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212. Ain't no bananas in this, except he did try to get on the show. Hey, where'd you get this outfit from?
Your closet.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is suffering many losses, painful losses, from Iranian attacks, the Times of Israel reported. Netanyahu thanked U.S. President Donald Trump for standing by Israel's side in his daily video statement. Regional tensions have escalated since Friday, when Israel launched airstrikes on multiple sites across Iran, including military and nuclear facilities, prompting Tehran to launch retaliatory strikes. Israeli authorities said at least 24 people have been killed and hundreds injured since then in Iranian missile attacks. Meanwhile, in Iran, 585 people have been killed and more than 1,300 wounded in the Israeli assault, according to Iranian media reports. Extreme hunger is intensifying in 13 global hotspots, with Gaza, Sudan, South Sudan, Haiti, and Mali at immediate risk of famine without urgent humanitarian intervention. A joint United Nations report warned on Monday. Sayakir Jasni reports.
Extreme hunger is worsening in 13 global hotspots. A joint United Nations and World Food Programme report on Monday warned that places like Gaza, Sudan, and Haiti are at immediate risk of famine without urgent intervention. The Hunger Hotspots report blames conflict, economic shocks, and climate risks for hungrier crises in the hardest hit regions. A famine is declared when 20% of people face severe food shortages, 30% of children are malnourished, and 2 in 10,000 die daily from starvation or disease. Reuters was in Haiti, one of the places at immediate risk. Gang violence has displaced thousands here, with more than 8,000 people facing severe hunger, according to the report. Standing outside tents in the capital city of Port-au-Prince, local resident Schneider says hunger is ravaging the Haitian community, with many going all day without food. And he says there is no government support. While trying to find food to feed her children, Renette tells Reuters how serious the hunger crisis is for her.
The famine is hard in Port-au-Prince. I'm about to die. The kids are about to die. I have nobody. I have no one to call. Since this morning, I haven't given them anything yet. Where you see me sitting now, it's thanks to some neighbors. I will go and check to get something to cook, to feed them. But I don't see how because the famine is hard. The famine is hard. We're about to die.
The report predicts food crises in the next 5 months and said that aid delivery was being undermined by insecurity and funding gaps. A World Food Program executive warned of that this was a red alert and said, quote, "Without funding and access, we cannot save lives." Some countries such as Ethiopia, Kenya, and Lebanon have improved and were removed from the hunger hotspots list.
All right, well, global scientists are concerned about the decline of the marine life population. It's reported that some species have suffered up to a 75% loss. The drastic decline is attributed to a number of factors, one of them overfishing. In this Sustainability First report, our Danielle Miller speaks with Executive Director Brief about the potential impact on our culture.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
Globally, there's been a decline of over 90% of the large fish, and these are groupers and sharks and cod and tunas.
An alarming statement by the Executive Director of Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation, also known as BREEF, Kasarina McKinney-Lambert, at the Bahamas Department of Marine Resources and the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Fisheries Law Enforcement Workshop held at Super Club Breezes Resort. Overfishing, she notes, is one of the main reasons for the staggering decline of a number of marine life, including the Bahamian delicacy, conch. McKinney-Lambert says it is essential to take all of the necessary steps to ensure that our fish stocks continue for future generations.
A number of our neighboring countries have already lost their conch stocks. Florida used to be known for its conch stocks. Key West used to be called the Conch Republic, and now they're commercially extinct there.
She expressed her full support for the Fisheries Law Enforcement Workshop, and she shares the preventative measures we can take in protecting our marine life.
Particularly abiding by fisheries regulations, making sure that we do have a network of fully functional, highly protected, marine protected areas in the country, and protecting the environments that sustain our fisheries.
Reporting for our news and reminding you to put sustainability first, Danielle Miller.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was June 19th. And then in our news at 7:30, President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers weighs in on government's decision to put a hold on bringing in more teachers from Cuba. And the Long Island Airport is set to get a multi-million-dollar upgrade. We've got the details coming up when our news returns.
Get ready for the new Charlie Banana show. That's right, Banana, B-A-N, Nana. You know how to spell banana. You know, right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212 every Friday night.
It's the Charlie Bahamas Show. It's the season rewind of the Charlie Bahamas Show right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212. Ain't no bananas in this, except he did try to get on the show. Hey, where'd you get this outfit from?
Your closet.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Hey, Hi guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And
when the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season faced the fury.
On this day in Bahamian history in 2012, 14 months after the ousted Ingram administration sold the majority stake in BTC to Cable and Wireless Communications, officials were back in talks with the new Perry Christie-led government. Then in 2016, then opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis expressed confidence about a leadership bid for the FNM and 2017 general elections. His comments came in the wake of persistent reports of infighting concerning his leadership. And in 2018, then Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis fired 3 of his own members of parliament from their cabinet-appointed positions. This after they voted against the government's proposed value-added tax increase. For the full details and more interesting facts about the day that was, head on over to ournews.bs. Well, that does it for our news at 7. Italia Hall is up next. But before we toss to our news at 7:30, it's time now for Thursday is the New Friday. Normally, our entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller would join us from a local spot, sipping a cocktail, of course, giving you all the details on the latest events. However, tonight she is currently at a movie premiere but didn't want to leave us hanging. So here's a quick update from earlier today.
Hey Megan, unfortunately I am not live tonight because I have to go and prepare for the movie premiere of Kidnapping Inc. at Fusion, and I will be bringing you the highlights from that premiere. But for your weekly dose of entertainment news tonight, tune into our 7:30 p.m. broadcast where I spent a magical evening at the Atlantis Theater. All right, guys and gals, you know the drill. Until next weekend, I promise we'll be live. Deuces. Back to you in studio.
All right. Thanks so much, Jenny. Thanks, Megan. Stay tuned to our news on Thursdays to see more of Danielle's escapades. But for now, here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news at 7:30, the Ministry of Education is reassessing its plan to recruit more teachers from Cuba, saying the focus is now on North America and retired Bahamians. But the move, fueled by U.S. pressure, isn't sitting well with the teachers' union. Also, a salary increase for public service employees is on the way. That's according to Public Services Minister Pia Govarol. And later, after a 2-year wait, Attorney General Ryan Pinder says construction on a new Supreme Court complex in New Providence will soon begin. And a multi-million-dollar upgrade is headed to Long Island with a brand new runway at Dedminski Airport. A $20.8 million contract was signed on Wednesday. The story when our news at 7:30 returns.
Are you? Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Family, how you look so down? Set them all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all gonna deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
bad struck 'em, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like PestPack, managing pest control just got easier. It's simple. Log on to the portal to review past services or monitor trends. Just tap Service Reports to access detailed records and see how we're keeping your business pest-free. You can even customize permissions so your teams in maintenance and health and safety have real-time access to everything they need. With PestPack, you're in control, anytime, anywhere. Get ready to simplify pest management with just a few taps.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this...
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. The Ministry of Education is putting the brakes on plans to bring in more teachers from Cuba. Instead, officials say the focus will shift to hiring from North America and even calling on retired Bahamian teachers. The move comes amid pressures from the United States, and tonight, the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers is pushing back. The Ministry of Education has paused its plan to recruit more Cuban teachers for the upcoming academic year and is now exploring other options to fill upcoming vacancies. Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell confirmed the decision this week with a local daily, noting the ministry will now look to the United States, Canada, and retired local educators to step in. The change comes as Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darvo recently revealed that recruitment agreements with Cuba are being suspended. U.S. authorities have expressed concern over the Cuban Workers Program. Currently, there are about 130 Cuban teachers working in the Bahamas, but the Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson is speaking out, defending the long-running Cuban teacher program.
The Ministry of Education should have informed the Bahamas Union of Teachers of the dilemma, and they should have held meetings to discuss the way forward. Sadly, this was not done. And I note that retired teachers will be re-engaged. The Bahamas Union of Teachers supports that.
When asked if the teachers will be allowed to finish out their contracts, McCartney-Russell says there are no guarantees.
Many of whom will be traveling back to Cuba this week for their summer break, which begs the question, will they be returning? She says the Cuban teacher exchange has been in place for some 20 years, and when it comes to plans to hire from the U.S., Wilson is cautious and says she is taking a wait-and-see approach. Because the starting salary for a teacher in the Bahamas was just increased in our 2022-2025 industrial agreement from $25,200 to $28,700. So I wonder which teachers are going to leave the United States, where their salaries range from $42,000 to $71,000 per year.
She says during recent union negotiations, the top teacher's salary annually in the Bahamas was raised to $43,400, an amount earned by some teachers who've been in the profession for 30 years.
And Canada's salaries range from $53,000 to $95,000 per year, with an average salary of $69,000. So it's a wait and see. But the Ministry of Education must assure us that adequate teachers will be in the classroom when schools open August of 2025.
While the Minister of Labor and the Public Service making a contribution to the 2025-2026 budget during Wednesday's evening session, highlighting some of the major improvements made since 2021, including signing 56 industrial agreements, increasing public service pension and minimum wage, as well as completing over 1,000 promotions. Our Megan Shepard tells us the minister also announced more increases are on the way.
Minister of Public Service and Labor Pia Glover-Roll announcing that the public service budget will be increasing by some $3.9 million. Here's the breakdown.
This includes a $446,000 increase in permanent and pensionable positions, offset by a $578,000 decrease for contract workers as we successfully transition temporary arrangements to permanent employment status.
The labor budget, she notes, will see an increase of $420,000.
This includes $163,000 for permanent and pensionable salaries, reflecting officers transferred from other ministries and the PSPEP regularizations. We also allocated $230,000 for contractual workers from officer transfers and new contracts supporting our program expansions.
In addition to those increases, she says there's also a public service salary review and increase. She notes that this is not reflected within the line items, but represents a conscious decision by the Davis administration to improve compensation across the board for public servants.
Beginning at the end of June, that's in a few weeks, 2,400 mid-level public servants will receive increases ranging up to 8%. Additionally, falling under finance, you will see new funding for health insurance coverage, which is what enables us for the first time ever to provide health insurance coverage for every single public servant. And just a few months from now, in September, thousands more public servants below the mid-level will receive increases. This represents the most significant compensation improvement for public servants in decades.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks so much for that, Megan. Well, more than 2 years after promising a new Supreme Court building, Attorney General Ryan Pinder says the Davis administration is moving forward with plans to start construction. In 2023, the AG said the government has, through its property holding special purpose vehicle Ponciana Holdings, concluded the purchase of 50 Shirley Street and 52 Shirley Street. He said ownership of the Rodney Bain building on Shirley Street has also been conveyed to government. It's expected the new location would house the new court complex. While speaking at the Conference of Caribbean Chief Justices and Heads of Government last night, the AG gave this update.
We will soon break ground, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, on a new Supreme Court judicial complex, hoping to break ground this very calendar year. This will ensure that the judges have the physical infrastructure, the technology, and the modern facilities necessarily to adjudicate matters in this era in which we live.
The AG says the new space will also allow for more specialty courts.
You heard that we talked about the family court. We intend on having a sexual offenses court, a juvenile court, a new coroner's court, and a commercial court. A new Supreme Court complex would give us the space to allow us to now develop these specialty courts.
While the Long Island Airport is set to get a multi-million-dollar upgrade, the Davis administration inking a $20.8 million contract with Bahamas Hot Mix Limited for the renovation of the Deadman's Key Airport runway. That signing happened at the office of the Prime Minister Wednesday afternoon. Work will include a brand new 6,000-foot asphalt runway, and officials say it will take a year to complete. The project is slated to start next month. Works and Family Island Affairs Minister Clay Sweeting says construction will also include airside improvements, earthworks, drainage, base works, electrical lighting, and signage, approach lighting, and fencing. He also called the signing more than a contract.
It's a declaration of confidence in the people, the potential, and the promise of Long Island. For years, the residents and entrepreneurs of Long Island have called for a better air access. Today, that call is being answered decisively.
Managing Director of Bahamas Hot Mix, Abby Sadie, was also at yesterday's signing. He says they are happy to begin construction next month.
At BHM, we take our responsibility seriously and we bring a legacy to this project. We're proud to be the only ISO 9001 certified contractor in the Bahamas for the construction of airports, ports, and runways, and roads. Over the last 25 years, we have delivered on major national airport projects, including Lyndon Pinning International Airport, Marsh Harbour Airport, and Grand Bahama International Airport, and we're presently delivering Exuma International Airport.
All right, well, nice weather on this Thursday evening. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for a quick check on conditions outside our studios and around the islands. 85 degrees with an east wind at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature still a very warm 89 degrees. Satellite radar composite, patchy clouds moving across us courtesy of that east to southeasterly wind flow. Mainly dry conditions will be experienced tonight to tomorrow. That ridge of high pressure at the surface stays entrenched across the area. Breezes have fallen off. We have some slight breezes across the southeast Bahamas, so we're asking you boaters down there to exercise caution. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, there's no storm in sight, but the Grand Bahama Port Authority says preparation is well underway. From speed to digital tools, this year's hurricane plan is designed for efficiency. Also, the 53rd Bahamas National Swimming Championships have begun, with over 600 athletes from around the world competing at the Betty Kelly Kenning Center. The story when our news returns.
Struckham, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like PestPack, managing pest control just got easier. It's simple. Log on to the portal to review past services or monitor trends. Just tap service reports to access detailed records and see how we're keeping your business pest-free. You can even customize permissions so your teams in maintenance and health and safety have real-time access to everything they need. With PestPack, you're in control, anytime, anywhere. Get ready to simplify pest management with just a few taps.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
There may not be a storm on the horizon right now, but the Grand Bahama Port Authority says it's never too early to get prepared. With the lessons of Dorian still top of mind, officials say the focus this year is on speed, efficiency, and digital readiness. Our Candido Knowles takes us inside parts of the city's hurricane playbook in tonight's City in Focus.
He's the man at the center of Freeport's storm readiness plan.
The first thing is to make sure that we have a list of providers that are current in their numbers, their business dealings and what they do. So for example, where do we need something called an IT equipment, where do we need truckers, where do we need, whatever it is, we want to make sure that they are still in operation.
That's Troy McIntosh, City Manager and Deputy Director of Building and Development Services at Grand Bahama Port Authority, already making moves before the first warning appears. He says the biggest lesson from past storms, especially Dorian, is the value of acting fast.
The second thing is to make sure that tools that we use are working.
Among those tools, a major upgrade from pen and paper to digital tracking using geographic information system technology.
Use your iPad, we collect the data, come back, upload the data, and then we can correlate with all of our service providers very quickly and efficiently, which then lends to, for what they do, a turnaround in terms of restoration of power.
Even city signage mapped out in advance.
We have a total of 32 subdivisions. We know how many signs were in those subdivisions. And so we don't have to guess in terms of inventory. We know what we need we do the assessment, and then we can say, hey, for subdivision A, we needed 300 signs. Well, if we don't have it in stock, we know what we need to order. And so it took a lot of the guessing out of the equation.
And when it comes to storm surge, technology helping them get ahead of the worst case scenarios.
We have tools to be able to project impact. We have the tools. We had it then and we still have it now.
In partnership with the Meteorology Department, McIntosh says they can project which neighborhoods would be hardest hit by flooding even before the first drop of rain.
These subdivisions are going to be more vulnerable. So now what that does in advance is look for preparedness, alerts, advising persons, perhaps put the information and say, hey, you are in a low-lying area, you're going to be impacted more severely.
And while the skies over Grand Bahama remain clear for now, the Port Authority's message is simple. Don't wait to prepare. Reporting for Our News, I'm Candino Knowles.
All right, thanks for that, Candino. Well, day one of the 53rd Bahamas National Swimming Championships are underway at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center with over 600 swimmers vying for top spots in the pool. There are 10 local clubs participating and swimmers from around the world, including the Cayman Islands, Turkey, the United States, and Mexico, just to name a few. Our Sasha Lightborn caught up with the Bahamas Aquatics Federation President Algernon Cargill, who spoke about his expectations for the four-day meet.
I want every swimmer who competes to swim their best. They've trained all year for these championships. And as the championships are qualifier for Carifta to start off with, we want swimmers to make their Carifta cuts at these meets. We recognize that it's going to be very competitive. And in terms of the swimming, we have almost 600 swimmers entered. So it's going to be an extremely tough event. But we want swimmers to stay hydrated, stay fresh, and whenever they enter the pool, to swim their best.
Cargill spoke to the logistics of running such an important four-day meet.
Lots of planning. Pre-planning goes in, lots of meetings. We primarily use Zoom to meet. We have an in-person meeting. But after you've done it for a long time, it becomes very routine. And the important thing for us, though, is to stay focused, stay healthy, and manage the sunlight, and we should be okay. 4 days, I can tell you, is a long time to have us be out here in the sun. But we've done it for a long time, and we understand what it takes, and we'll get the job done because we're all here for the benefit of our athletes.
Coming up in sports, Jazz hits home run number 10, Basketball Smiles moves into his 26th year, and the Bahamas struggles on the road in regional cricket qualifiers.
Sasha Lightborn here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow all of the Our News social media pages to make sure that you don't miss those top stories from the team you already trust.
Get ready for the new Charlie Banana Show. That's right, Banana, B-A-N, Nana. You know how to spell banana. You know, right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212 every Friday night.
It's the Charlie Bahamas Show. It's the season rewind of the Charlie Bahamas Show right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212. Ain't no bananas in this, except he did try to get on the show. Hey, where'd you get this outfit from? Your closet.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Martinutt. Let's do show. Jazz Chisholm continues to produce at the plate for the New York Yankees, and last night he delivered again. Somehow, it hasn't translated to wins. Chisholm broke the Yankees' 30-inning scoreless drought with a solo home run in the second inning, launching a 407-foot blast to center field. It was Jazz's 10th home run of the season and the only run for the Yankees in a 3-2 loss to the Angels. Since returning from a right oblique injury on June 3rd, Chisholm has looked more locked in than ever. In that time frame, he's posted a .998 OPS with 3 home runs, 8 RBI, and 4 stolen bases. Over his last 15 games, Chisholm has a batting average of .319 with a .574 slugging percentage. This is a great time to remind you that voting is now open at mlb.com/vote. You can vote up to 5 times a day just using your email address, and obviously, select Jazz Chisholm.
This summer, the Bahamas once again played host to another edition of the Basketball Smiles Camp. Since 1999, Sam Nichols and his organization have worked alongside local coaching icon Patty Johnson to bring together youth athletes eager to develop their skills and the love for the game. Organizers focused on creating a positive and encouraging environment for players of all levels, fostering not only basketball fundamentals, but also life skills like leadership and perseverance.
Well, it's our 26th year, and we look forward to it year-round to come here and coach the game of basketball and also coach the game of life, because we always tell these young men and young women they are the future of the Bahamas. And out of this group is going to come police officers, teachers, physicians, people in the healthcare industry, people in Parliament one day. And they're going to be the leaders, and we get a chance to mentor them when they're at a young age, not only in basketball but in life.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Bolig was on hand at the camp this week.
I use basketball and give back to basketball as a mentor for many years. And because of my contribution to the country was one of the things that led to me being the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture today. So I just wanted to be an example for those young men that we saw today.
It's been a tough series of outings so far for Team Bahamas at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup America's Regional Final. Hosted at the Maple Leaf Cricket Club in King City, Ontario, Team Bahamas fell by 10 wickets with 39 balls remaining to the host country and suffered its 3rd straight loss. The Bahamas posted a total of 52 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 11 overs. Canada reached a target of 53 runs in 4.3 overs. Kevron Hines stood out with a team-high 12 runs off 7 balls, while Mark Taylor added 9 runs off 12. Team Bahamas opened their campaign with a 38-run loss against the Cayman Islands, and Eugene Duff was the top scorer with 31 runs. They followed with a loss in the first matchup against Bermuda, and Hines took 1 wicket for 7 runs in 1.5 overs. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. You want to remind the people how many times they can vote for Jazz to get into the MLB All-Star game?
5. It ain't the Klay Thompson today, but it's 5.
5 times. Do that every day. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, a world-famous magician is back in the Bahamas with a brand new interactive experience. Our Daniel Miller attended opening night and has the story when our news continues. Stay with us.
Get ready for the new Charlie Banana show. That's right, Banana, B-A-N, Nana. You know how to spell banana. You know, right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212 every Friday night.
It's the Charlie Bahamas Show. It's the season rewind of the Charlie Bahamas Show right here on Cable Bahamas Channel 212. Ain't no bananas in this, except he did try to get on the show. Hey, where'd you get this outfit from? Your closet.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely.
This is our news. Welcome back. Ridge of high pressure at the surface and aloft continuing to dominate our weather, keeping us mainly dry with just some patchy clouds moving across the chain of islands, maybe even a small shower or two, but that ridge will remain entrenched across our area through tonight, Friday, and into the weekend, but we do expect some residual moisture with an upper level disturbance just to the south of us to bring us a couple of isolated showers for the weekend. In the meantime, though, the tropics across our area, very quiet. The far eastern Atlantic, a couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt, one coming off of Africa as we speak, another in the central portions of the Atlantic, and then of course in the Caribbean we have a very active wave actually interacting with that upper level low, bringing some showers across that area, as well as some thunderstorms. No organization at this time, but Gulf of Mexico also remaining quiet as well. Future forecast showing how things will be progressing over the next couple of days. Just some patchy clouds moving across area and some small showers. Most of the activity staying well to the east of us. And as I mentioned, by Friday, we see an uptick in some moisture coming across our area. That should bring us a couple isolated showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two. Boating forecast, northwest and central Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Much improved, but still a little choppy on the Atlantic side. East to southeast winds 10 to 50 knots, 2 to 4 foot seas. Low tide is at 9:22 tonight. High tide takes place at 3:16 in the morning for the southeast Bahamas. Caution flag, you guys down there. Winds have fallen off, but they're still up to 15 knots out of the east to southeast. Seas running 3 to 5 feet, but higher in some gusts. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, it's going to remain quiet, but we do have a couple of isolated showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm in the forecast. Temperatures will take a slight dip for the weekend, but we expect them to be back towards the 90-degree mark by next week. And some more moisture looks like it's getting in here by Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, a new interactive experience premiered at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort last night with one of the world's greatest illusionists. In his return to the mega resort, he promises a performance that leaves you in awe. Our Daniel Miller attended the opening night.
What do you expect from Rob Lake tonight?
I really don't know. Just a lot of magic, I guess.
Guests from around the world and locals poured into the Atlantis Theater on Wednesday evening for the premiere of The Magic of Rob Lake. It marked the beginning of the world-renowned illusionist Rob Lake's summer residency that runs until August 31st, 2025. I spoke to the magician minutes before his show. He recalled his first appearance at the resort in 2015. Nearly a decade later, he says, this will be his biggest show yet.
It feels like a homecoming. You know, I've spent so much time in this theater, in this room. The show is built for the space, and it's the first time in all these, first time 10 years ago, 2015. It's the first time we've brought a lot of new illusions to the show.
Why do you want to get started now?
I don't know. It sounds cool.
I sat through the performance and won't tell you what tricks are up his sleeves. But what I can tell you is I was truly amazed by the artistry, the comical storytelling, and of course, the magic. For more information, visit www.atlantisbahamas.com/events/Rob Lake.
Hey, it's Rob Lake. Please come see me here at Atlantis now through August 31st. Only at Atlantis Theater. See you soon.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks so much for that, Denny, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.